recently I covered a song from Dr. Dre and Eminem, and it had Skylar Grey in it. It was called I Need a Doctor. And there was a lot of heavy bars in that song. Heavy. And I started asking, like, what's the story here? I feel like I'm missing out. And you guys let me know that Eric Wright was someone who used to be part of a different band or group with Dr. Dre. He passed away. Dr. Dre's son passed away. And then I got some information about another group that Eminem was a part of, and his best friend Proof died in 2006, which you guys had said earlier in the channel when I was reviewing other Eminem songs about Proof, and I just didn't really get a good gist of everything. And then also kind of giving me the background story of, like, when Eminem was trying to, you know, make a name for himself, nobody wanted to give him an opportunity, and the only person that did was Dr. Dre. And so he really risked his name and his reputation by giving him a chance, and, you know, it just so happened to be the best decision he probably ever made. And so I was sent this this video, which is really an interview of the full story of the friendship between Eminem and Dr. Dre, and we are gonna take a listen to that. And that way I get some education on this too, because I really don't know a whole lot of the backstories for a lot of these like instances that's happened with Eminem, but this is also including Dr. Dre, who we have now officially covered on this channel, you know. So you guys know I already link ways for you to show love and support to the artists on this channel. I will continue to do so. We'll link ways for you to do it in the description box below. But yeah, I really want to take a look at this. I'm very interested in hearing what this is about. And yeah, let's get started.
I want to see my friend. Hi. It's my. He's my friend. He's really my friend. He's pretending, but that's my friend, Dr. Dre.
In the last video, we discussed an example of a bad friendship, where one person went after the other for a full 20 years and ended up behind bars. However, this time we will discuss how Eminem saved Dre.
I've heard this name, Suge Knight. He's in behind bars because of Dr. Dre. I thought it had something to do with Tupac. I thought it had something to do with Tupac. I don't think I've ever heard any of Tupac's songs either. I probably should listen to some of that, but I don't think I have heard any of his songs. All right, rewind that just a little bit. We're gonna keep going on this. I'm intrigued.
In the last video, we discussed an example of a bad friendship, where one person went after the other for a full 20 years and ended up behind bars. However, this time we will discuss how Eminem saved Dre's career, and in turn, Dre saved Marshall's life. After Dre left Death Row Records, he wanted to create his own team in which he could not be deceived, and in which there would not be any gangster hype or disses. He decided to create his own label company under the name Aftermath. Together with Interscope Records and under the same name, he released an album, which ended up in complete failure. The record was criticized by everyone and their mother. Then he worked with the Firm Group, but their release, even though he was the one who produced it, did not resonate well with the public. Dre's career was totally under threat. The papers started saying that Dre just isn't the same anymore, and that the co-founder of Interscope, Jimmy Iovine, was severely pressured to consider that it was time to kick Dre out of the label. In turn, Eminem was battling in Detroit. He worked for crumbs, and he didn't know how to feed his own family. His album, Infinity, went unnoticed. Frankly speaking, his situation was very crappy. It's worth just listening to his song, If I Had, from the Slim Shady EP, where he recalls just how bad it all was for him.
Tired of being white trash, broken, always poor. Tired of taking pop bottles back to the party store.
At that time, Dre was on a break and wasn't working with anyone. He was thinking about which direction to go further in. One day, him and Jimmy were sitting around and listening to records of different artists. And this is when Dre stumbled across Eminem's record and said,
"What the fuck is this? I really need to meet this guy."
They got in touch with Marshall, who a couple of days later took the trip to meet with Jimmy and Dre. What's funny is that Dre was impressed that Eminem was white. The guys went to the studio, and in the very first second, M said,
Hi, my name is Chicka Slim Shady.
He kept freestyling.
I gotta say, this is unraveling to be a very interesting story. So really, because I'd always heard the name Dr. Dre, I really never listened to any of the music. And I didn't know that he went through all this. And I really want to know what the story is behind Suge Knight and Dr. Dre. Like, I want to know about that. Sounds like there's a video about that somewhere. So if anybody wants to send it to me, I'm happy to hear it. That's really something. So he has all this issues happening over here, and then M is in like all these rap battles and all of those type of stuff, right? And struggling to get by. Somehow managed to release a record. Dre hears it, brings him to LA, Hollywood, basically to California, and didn't know the entire time that M was a white guy. I find that funny because we just put so many stereotypes, and it's back and forth. We really do. We put so many stereotypes, like we expect that someone who sounds awesome is going to be of a certain race, color, genre, you know, and we put that on ourselves. We should be looking like at ourselves in the mirror and just learn that like everybody can contribute something, but that's a story for another day. This is so interesting. I'm like so interested in this right now.
My name is Chicka Slim Shady.
He kept freestyling at the beat, and after he finished, he didn't like it and asked Dre to turn on the beat from the beginning. Dre was like, "Yo, are you fucking crazy? Let's just punch." They recorded the track in a single take, since they had rented the studio for just an hour because M couldn't afford much.
You know, and the beat started talking to me like, "Hi, my name," like I started like doing the hook, and he looked at me kind of funny like, "You gonna use that as a hook?" You know? I just went in and like freestyled some verses, and then I hadn't had them wrote yet, and just went home that same night.
Dre was told not to get involved with Eminem because he's a very provocative rapper. His future is completely uncertain, and yeah, he's white with blue eyes after all.
How can you prove that this is the real Eminem? I guess, there you go.
Dre wasn't bothered by other people's opinion, and he bet everything on Marshall and demanded that he get signed as soon as possible. He had a hunch that this is the artist he should be working with. At Interscope, signing a contract with a rapper can take up to 3 to 4 months, but Dre wanted to sign him immediately. In 1999, there was a re-release of Slim Shady, which was no longer an EP, but an LP. The release gave Eminem's career an unbelievable boost. You would go on Spotify, you would be able to tell which of the songs were produced by Dre and which weren't just by looking at the number of streams of each track.
You beat for me, I'ma even the score equally. Take you on Jerry Springer and beat your ass legally.
The first collaborative track of the two together was Guilty Conscience. The idea behind the song is that a person wants to engage in criminal behavior, but his conscience, which is portrayed by Dre, talks him out of it. In other words, the conscience persuades the bad side to let go of this idea of wanting to engage in criminal behavior. However, at the end of the music video, in a situation where the guy caught his wife cheating on him, Dre understands that sometimes you have to do what the situation requires you to do.
What am I saying? Do them both, Grady. Where's your gun at?
What?
And this is the album which featured the very song that they recorded in a couple of minutes. Of course, here, I'm referring to the song My Name Is.
Hi, my name is. My name is. What? My name is Slim Shady.
In the album's first week of release, the Slim Shady LP sold 283,000 copies, debuting at number 2 on the Billboard 200 chart. Just so you can understand, this album was at the top for 100 weeks.
Drama like what?
Drama like what? Like front page of Billboard. Blam! Billboard editor saying Slim Shady is bad influence, and Slim Shady is promoting rape, and Slim Shady is promoting violence, and Slim Shady is promoting a lot of this and that and this and that and this and that.
At the same time, Dre was working on his new project, an album under the name The Chronic 2001. Marshall wrote the song Forgot About Dre, which was dedicated to all the critics who said that Dre was on the decline.
Dre was off track for a minute, you know? Dre had a couple of bad years, but, you know, Dre is Dre. Dre is like a cat. Dre is always gonna land on his feet. He's always gonna land on his feet, so, you know, I feel like me and Dre got a chemistry similar to him and Snoop's chemistry, you know? Not necessarily to compare myself to Snoop, you know, but there's a certain chemistry there, and all Dre needed was to work with the right people, you know what I'm saying?
The song was written for his friend and Snoop Dogg. He laid the reference vocals for Snoop, and Dre really liked it, so they stuck to this version.
Talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre.
Dre himself doesn't know what inspired him to write such a song. However, we think that Marshall had done it out of sheer gratitude.
You know, I feel like Dre saved my life.
He said me saved his life. Wow, okay. I didn't know that.
This track brought in a Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group in 2001, and also won the Best Rap Video at the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000.
I gotta say, why wouldn't you want to show gratitude? Dre helped him, then he helped Dre out. But the reason why he helped Dre out wasn't because it's like, I owe you one. No, it's just because, like, thank you. Man, that's respectable. That's really respectable. I gotta say, I'm glad I'm getting to see this, because I don't get to see stuff like this all the time. I don't know to look for it. I don't know where to look for it. So I'm glad to see this side. It lends a lot to their character. It helps understand a lot of their music too, doesn't it? I'm really, like, I'm impressed so far. I'm really impressed with the relationship and just that level of respect for one another that you can clearly see they have.
That's got to be used. That has to be used.
That was stupid right there.
It's also worth pointing out another hit song called What's the Difference, where Eminem says that he loves him, mentions that if something was ever to happen, he will always have his back. To which Dre responds saying,
I don't know if you noticed it, but I've had your back from day one, nigga, let's blow this bitch. I mean it.
and in Still D.R.E., Eminem got to take part in the music video, where Dre proudly recalled M's achievement.
My ear to the streets, signed Eminem. He's triple platinum, doing 50 a week still.
Listen, I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank Dr. Dre.
In Eminem's next album, called the Marshall Mathers LP, Dr. Dre produced 6 tracks. Of this list, one track stands out as one of the most popular tracks in Eminem's career, which is Real Slim Shady.
I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Next up, we have my cameo.
This is the part where I grab the milk carton and Dr. Dre is missing, and then I turn the milk carton around to the camera and you can see Dr. Dre's face on a milk carton like he's missing.
Britney Spears, I'm coming for you! With my full power, I'm change the costume! But you can't sing any more corny love songs!
Eminem as Flex McGookin. If you're a boy band, you see Eminem, you better run.
I don't know what's wrong with this kid. This should make for real good TV.
Hold on. I want to thank Paul Rosenberg, Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, of course, once again. Thank you, sir. Once again, you got me up here.
In addition to working on music, the Friends also appeared in the movie The Wash, in which Snoop Dogg also starred.
Fuck off me!
Motherfucker who took my job.
Nah, Chris, I can't let you smoke my homeboy like that, man.
In 2002, M released his most popular album, The Eminem Show, which includes the song White America, which talks about the fact that Dre believed in him at a time when not a single label wanted him.
pocket until I met Dre. The only one who looked past gave me a chance, and I lit a fire up under his.
And as you all know, Dre took part in the music video for Without Me. The guys parodied comic book heroes such as Batman, Robin, and Blade. They tried to save a boy who got his hands on the Eminem Show album, which has a parental advisory sticker on it. At the end of the music video, they entered the kid's house, with Eminem doing so through the window, having climbed the wall of the building, while Dr. Dre entered through the door. Eminem then snatched the disc from the kid, pointing to the sticker that's on the cover.
I'm trying to be inventive and make the best of bad situations.
They also wrote a diss track for this album called Say What You Say. In the song, they took a dig at the magazine The Source, Cannabis, and most interestingly, producer Jermaine Dupri. The whole issue is that Jermaine told XXL Magazine that he is the best beatmaker. So, Dre had to respond to these claims.
Fuck your man, he don't belong speaking mine or Timberland's name.
In the same year of 2002, Eminem stumbled upon 50 Cent's music, personally helping Dre find new talent, who happened to later become the most popular artist in the upcoming few years. By the way, remember that when we discussed the track What's the Difference, we mentioned that he said he always has Dre's back? The confirmation of these words came in the way Eminem behaved during the filming of the In the Club music video, when one of the most dangerous people in hip-hop showed up, Suge Knight. Tony Yayo recalled in an interview how Eminem behaved in that tense moment.
I was bugging because I seen, this is when I knew Eminem was real. He's like, I don't give a fuck, man. This is when I knew, I'm like, damn, Eminem is a real nigga. These niggas, 50 niggas outside, what's up? And then the nigga Suge just walked away. The Mexican niggas looked kind of confused, like they didn't know what was going on.
What
Further,
happened
in
there?
2004, Eminem released a new album, Encore, where Dre was responsible for 8 tracks and even appeared in the music video for Just Lose It.
What's your name, girl? What's your sign? Man, you must be about your mind. Dre, big guy goes blind.
All shame out the window. Done. I have no idea what's wrong with him, man. He always shows his ass. I show it every chance I get.
The album Encore disappointed many with its quality. It's all because, at the time, Eminem was struggling greatly with issues related to drugs, which he had been using for many years already.
Because I'm gonna be on drugs very soon, so I'm very happy about that.
Are you? Is that the best thing for you about Holland here?
Drugs?
Yeah?
Yeah. It's the best thing for me wherever I go.
And this love for illegal substances nearly led him to his death.
Had I got to the hospital about 2 hours later, I would have died.
In the end, he checked into rehab in 2007, and he has been leading a sober life ever since. He also started exercising with Dr. Dre. Once you're at a place where you've made progress and you've got some time invested in it, said Eminem in an interview, you don't want to quit and give up what you started. Well, of course, the guy started working on music and released the album Relapse, where Dre basically produced all the tracks from the album except the intro and the very famous song Beautiful. Other than producing, Dre, of course, took part in the song Old Time's Sake, where they recalled the past.
One more time for old time's sake. Dre, drop that beat and scratch that break.
And Crack a Bottle, in which their friend 50 Cent appeared.
So crack a bottle, let your body waddle. Don't act like a snobby model, you just hit the lotto.
Despite Dre's incredible support in making the songs, in the eyes of many hip-hop critics, the album just wasn't successful. What's more to say? Eminem himself didn't like it, and he will mention that in his next album, Recovery.
In fact, let's be honest, at last relapse CD was aired. Perhaps I ran them accents into the ground.
And here, Dre produced only 2 songs.
So bad, I'm so good that I'm so bad. I guarantee I'll be the greatest thing you ever had. So what the deal, riders? Would you excuse me while I feel my nuts?
Just how much they value one another can be understood based on the song that was released in 2011 under the name I Need a Doctor. Knowing the full history of their friendship, you will 100% find this song touching. Around the time this song was in the making, Dr. Dre had been on a long hiatus from music due to grief and depression that ensued from the passing of his son, Andre Young Jr. in 2008. Further, he reflected on the impact music had on his life and how it gave him the strength to carry on. I Need a Doctor is his testimonial of the role of music in his recovery.
The car crash, I think, is just metaphorically speaking, like, feels like Dre's been in a coma, like me and hip-hop are trying to wake him up.
In his verses, Eminem reflects on how Dr. Dre believed in him, despite it risking his own career.
It's you who believed in me when everyone was telling you don't sign me. Everyone at the fucking label, let's tell the truth.
And in turn, Dre recalls his own past and poses the question of where are those friends who vowed to be with him till the end. But they eventually left, and only Eminem was always around. In 2021, Dre ended up in the hospital because of a brain aneurysm. Doctors thought that he wouldn't make it. The legendary producer admitted that doctors called his family into the room to say their goodbyes. I was at the Cedars-Sinai Hospital. They didn't allow anyone in because of COVID. Guests, relatives, no one. But then they let my family visit. I later found out that they had called them in so they could get an opportunity to say goodbye to me. At that time, a conflict arose between Eminem and Snoop Dogg because the latter said that Eminem is white hope in rap. However, he is not in the top 10, and everything that he has achieved so far is thanks to Dre anyway.
The great white hope. White rappers had zero respect in rap. Let's keep that.
Hold on now. So, cataloging what I've just listened to, Eminem did a song for Dre and for Snoop to do together and wrote the song. And now, what in the world is wrong with people? He may not have been amongst many white rappers, but because of him, there are a lot now. I mean, I've seen them going around, right? We've covered a couple of them on our channel. So what if he was the first and so he wasn't respected? You know what? I have to say, whether Dr. Dre helped him produce the songs or not, he wrote a lot of those songs. I hate when people are tearing each other down. There's no sense in doing that. And it's just ungrateful at the same time. It really is. It's an ungrateful attitude to have.
Has achieved so far is thanks to Dre anyway.
The great white hope. White rappers had zero respect in rap. Let's keep that 1,000. None. He has probably put Eminem in a position where he could be labeled as one of the top 10 rappers ever. I don't think so, but the game feels like he's top 10 lyricists and all that comes with it, but that's just because he's with Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre helped him find the best Eminem that he could find.
And that is a seriously strange remark from Snoop Dogg, since the same can be said about him. And going by that same logic, then who Snoop is now is also thanks to Dre, isn't it? His best album is undoubtedly Doggy Style, and who produced it? Exactly. Enough said. Eminem responded in the song Zeus. Marshall said that he is used to being dissed, but not from people within his own circle.
He was like a damn god to me. Nah, not really. I had dog backwards.
But they put an end to this beef because of Dre's serious illness.
And we were like, bro, this is stupid. This is stupid as hell to be feuding right now. So I don't remember if I called him or he called me. I can't remember, but we talked it out.
And I felt like I was out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? And I apologized to him and I let him know. And I'm just better at myself. You know what I'm saying? I make mistakes. I ain't perfect. I'm Snoop Dogg.
And after that, they collaborated and recorded together. The guys even had an interview together in which they recalled their past. And can you imagine that Eminem forgot that he was in the Still DRE music video?
Wasn't you on the beach running on that video?
Wasn't I in that video?
Yeah, you was running on the beach. That was like your debut out.
I was?
You was running on the beach.
Why
with
the
no
fuck do I
clothes
not
on.
remember?
You was running on the beach with damn near no clothes on.
I don't even, what?
It was a bunch of girls around you, and all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, okay. Now I remember.
Come on, man, quit playing. You know, Dre had you right up in there.
And in 2022,
I'm glad that they reconciled. At least they didn't keep that. You know what I mean? I just don't understand why that even happened to begin with. I'm glad he recognized he was out of pocket for that. And that they quashed everything because there was bigger things that were more important going on. Unbelievable.
It had you right up in there.
And in 2022, a legendary event took place when Dre, Eminem, Snoop, and 50 Cent gathered together for the Super Bowl performance. It's worth mentioning that before Lose Yourself, Eminem read the chorus of Forgot About Dre. In that same year, Eminem was introduced into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And just listen to how warmly they spoke about one another.
What's most important to him is that he's earned the respect of his peers as one of the best to ever do it. Point blank. Turns out, this unassuming white guy with blue eyes from Detroit being repeatedly turned down and turning everything we thought we knew about hip-hop on its head while forcing us to confront our own biases, growing not only the genre, but all of us right along with it. That's right. Point blank.
You're the man who played them. The man who saved my life, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Motherfucking Dre.
This was a video about the wonderful friendship between Eminem and Dr. Dre, which prove what happens when you believe in and support one another regardless of anything, and what kind of heights you can achieve if you go all the way. The next video that you can watch is an example of a bad friendship including Dr. Dre, which we talked about at the very beginning of this video. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the next video. Bye, everyone.
Should we review that interview? I'm very curious to review that interview, actually. You know, with Suge Knight. I want to know what happened there. I really do. But honestly, this was so insightful. Thank you for sending the video to me. This was so insightful. I feel like, you know, you have a bigger appreciation for the music that you listen to, knowing the backstory behind, you know, the friendship and how it was produced and how he came to get his shot and all of that. So I like really liked looking at this and learning about this. But that's going to do it for this one. If you guys like the content, you already know what to do. I hope you consider doing it. In the meantime, live your lives fabulously. Let me know if you want to hear this interview about Suge Knight in the comments below. Email it to me, whatever, and we will take a look at it from there. Live your lives fabulously, people. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.